Hey guys, it's me Beata from Horoscopes and Readings.com, and today I would like to talk about a difficult Pluto contacts in a birth chart. Recently I made a video about this type of contacts, and I will say that I would like to go back and clarify some things I already talked about because there was one very interesting comment from one of you viewers, and you wrote me that difficult Pluto contacts in a birth chart, they they really like pull out the worst version of you. As an example, if you have like a Pluto square sun, then obviously your sun, let's say in Cancer, um, which is squared by Pluto, will will radiate the worst characteristics of the sun in Cancer someone can have, you know. And I will actually look deeper into this topic because I personally was very much curious if we can somehow see like the character, of the person, because obviously it would be the best to know exactly what's going on here. But recently I had a talk with one professional astrologer, and he told me that it is really not possible. This is actually the way I read horoscopes for you. It's like um, I emphasize this as well, but from my 14 years of practice, well, I will say that I'm able to judge this better. Because if we really can talk about Pluto square Sun, obviously um, all difficult Pluto Sun contacts make a person a bit, not a bit, but with a big ego, and we don't want to hear it, right? But I don't know about you, but I don't have this aspect in my own natal chart, but I obviously know people who have it. And, with those people, I sometimes really feel uncomfortable because I feel like they are immediately ready to have a power struggle with me. And I don't know why I am picking up on this, but probably it's because I am prone to power struggles. That's my interpretation. But I sense like there is a lot of tension underneath, especially this square between Pluto and Sun, and these people can be very powerful, but at the same time, and this is the problem, they can be powerless. What I've noticed is that during their life, they can experience both sides, or during one era of their life, they were very powerful, but, you know, then cards flipped and they were powerless to some conditions in their life, you see. So especially with square, there can be these extremes. You are going from one extreme to another. Well, I personally don't think that if you have like square between Pluto and any personal planet, it will bring the worst out of that personal planet. Like if you have Pluto square Venus, obviously you tend to be, or you can be very, very obsessive and even very dramatic in love. But, maybe you would be surprised, but especially with Pluto difficult contact with Venus, including conjunction, I've noticed that these people have long-term partnerships, okay? And this I find very fascinating because even though this should not be surprising, because with Pluto Venus, any contact really, you take love seriously. Obviously it can be different, during your life, but typically these people, they are very serious in love. Let's take example of Cardi B. She has conjunction between Pluto and Venus, and yeah, she was in a long-term relationship with father of her child, but of course this was not easy relationship, shall we say. But this is the thing, that these people, they they really want this to make it work, okay, to the point that they are able or willing to sacrifice anything. So again, extreme, right? I don't have Pluto difficult Venus contact, and yeah, I would not be willing, to sacrifice as much as someone with Pluto Venus contact or with Venus in Scorpio. So yeah, it's very interesting. Or recently, I had a coffee with my friend, and she has Pluto square Moon in her own birth chart, and I have Trine, but we really get along very well, because there is this depth of conversation, okay. And obviously she didn't study psychology at all, but somehow uh, she always has these really good psychological insights, even into me and into my problems. And I'm not used to that, right? Because most people, are shallow, and, to be frank, they don't have much to offer to me, because I've been in this spiritual development for many years, and things typically don't surprise me, right? I'm sorry, I don't want to sound arrogant, but that's the way it is. But when I am with her, like every time, well, she sometimes says something that it's really worth noticing, even to me, and I pay attention to her words. Obviously, we are just chit chatting and talking about pretty much everything, but even when it comes to relationship, she can be very deep, and I love it. I really love to have deep conversations. And with Pluto Moon, this person can go to extreme, but let me tell you, these people, they will not show you this side of them until they really trust you, honestly. I know her birth chart, but if I haven't, you know, I I would not probably come to conclusion that she might have this Pluto square moon, because especially this aspect can be very hidden, and maybe you would be surprised that some people are scared to look deeper into this aspect, and they somehow tend to bury this side of them. But because Pluto will take you really, really like underworld, and with Moon, it's really your heart, and it's the most vulnerable part of yourself. So no wonder that people are not so happy or willing to go that deep. So really, no judgment here. But one thing that have these Pluto difficult contacts to any person, a planet in common, is that it's planet of extremes, And sometimes what I've noticed is that a person, for instance, I had partner with Pluto square Mars in his natal chart, and on the surface he was very, calm and very like easygoing person, obviously this can obviously he was aware that he has this this let's say you know he craves intimacy and things like that. But with Pluto square Mars, this can indicate like aggression, again something very extreme in his own birth chart. And he was the person who was not aggressive at all, and this is not how I know him at all. And it's very interesting. This side of him was buried, and he was not aware that something like this is part of himself. Actually, he was the one you know, who was against any aggression or even, like loud speaking and things like that. But in my humble opinion, I think that he may be the one who pretty much represses his own anger, but this anger can be triggered especially by someone whose Pluto will square his Mars. This can happen, definitely. So, this is how this Pluto actually works. It's deep psychology, and honestly, people may not even be aware that they have these issues, traumas, because typically with square, and really in this video, I'm mainly talking about square. It's a difficult contact to live with. I don't think that it's just pull out the worst side of you. I don't think so. I mainly think that uh, many people are not even aware what's really going on, beneath them, beneath the surface, because especially with difficult Pluto contacts, it takes courage to look deeper, and we don't want to deal with that stuff, right? So, yeah, this was my analysis. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I will be glad if you give me thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. I am available for private appointments, for private readings, astrological readings. I can read your chart or any synastry chart or really anything what you ask me to do, any type of chart. Really, I work via audio recording, so your audio recorded message will be delivered to your mailbox. Okay, everything is listed in the description below. You can order your readings. It is pretty simple, and see you next week. Bye bye.